Okay, so 12 o'clock today, we got the rematch between the Fever and the Chicago Sky, which of course highlights the rematch between the two sensational rookies, highly touted Caitlin Clark of the Indiana Fever versus Angel Reese of the Chicago Sky. Everybody knows about their rivalry, goes back to college, in the most watched championship game in the history of women's basketball. And the first, for those who didn't see the first matchup, the Fever took it by, I believe, 1 or 2 points. It was like a one-score game. And so this time, I believe the game is in Indiana. So this should be interesting. We should expect a sellout crowd, a pretty raucous environment, and these two teams should go at it. Overall, my opinion of the two teams were that the Chicago Sky were the slightly better team. Overall, that was my opinion. But now, when you look at what has been happening over the last few weeks, the Fever are actually coming off of a victory. Because, in my opinion, Coach Sides decided to go with a strategy that put them in the best situation to win right now, which is a less Caitlin-centric offense and more ball movement and sharing of the ball. Some of the Caitlin Clark fans, as we know, are upset that Caitlin Clark only managed to score 7 points. However, if you really look at it, much of the points came as a result of her having a bad shooting night. Not so much just the ball being taken out of her hand. But there's neither here nor there. The Chicago Sky come in, I believe, on a 2-game losing streak, possibly 3 games. And Coach Witherspoon has some things she has to think about, in my opinion. I believe the team has much of what they need to be successful, but, Coach Teresa kind of has to decide what is the best roles to put people in. I think one of the things she has to look at is possibly starting Chennedy Carter, because right now she serves as that punch coming off the bench. She's probably the most dynamic guard that they have. They have some decent guards, with Chennedy being the most dynamic, most athletic, fastest, can kind of get to whatever spot she wants to on the floor, has a good mid-range game, is a good finisher around the rim. Whereas right now she's starting Evans and Marina Mabry. Marina Mabry, man, really put the team in a bad spot last week when she failed to hit her 2 free throws at the end of the game, which could have sent the game into overtime. I'm a Marina Mabry fan because she's from Belmar, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? I got that bias for them local girls, and I like her toughness and all of that kind of stuff. But if I was to be honest, I would look towards maybe starting Chennedy Carter over her at that 2 spot. They also have a nice little guard by DeShields, who I don't know, she should get more shots up. She seems like a pretty decent shooter. But if you're going to move Mabry, I think I might move her to that 3 spot maybe, and think about having DeShields come off the bench to do what you got Carter doing right now, or even Mabry, one of them. But I really believe you got to consider starting Carter. Now, if the Fever, like I said, not a really strong team. However, the Fever got off to a nice, good start in that last game. They came out with a ball movement type of offense. If Chicago comes out with another slow start, there's a serious chance they could be in a situation where they lose to the Fever. And the reason is the Fever actually are built well to play against Chicago, because the strength of the Fever, though people don't want to admit it, is really the front court with Smith, Alyssa Smith, and also Aaliyah Boston, who these are very skillful bigs. Whereas when you look at Chicago, they have excellent bigs, but they're young, And then if you have Aaliyah Boston going up against Cardoso, that's actually a good matchup. You're talking about Aaliyah Boston as someone that Cardoso looked up to, kind of like groomed her to be who she is. And then you also got to look at Angel Reese and Cardoso, like who's the better player. Reese might be the better defender and better rebounder, but when you talk about Aaliyah Boston, you're talking about someone who has a very, very nice skill set underneath the basket, underneath the rim and scoring. Then Alyssa Smith is a nice athlete. who probably matches up well against Angel Reese if she's at that power forward spot. So the Fever are a very dangerous team, specifically for Chicago, right? But Chicago's looking to come in and get revenge, so I think that works to their favor. But this is going to be a very interesting matchup. And then Caitlin Clark, you always got to be concerned with her if she has one of those hot days where she just goes off, you know. But what she has to do is be very careful and cognizant of not turning that ball over. That's the thing with Caitlin Clark. Like right now, I would consider, like, forget about what the Clark Colt wants and all of that kind of stuff. You have to consider putting her, in order to ingratiate her into this league, at that 2 spot. I really think she should be running off of screens, catching and shooting. She should be like doing some spot up work because she has to be respected. So you use the fact that she's being guarded closely to work in favor of the team. So she should provide great spacing for the bigs. That's the least she should do. And, when Boston starts dominating, if Alyssa Smith can get off, that collapses the defense. Kick it out to Caitlin. You just need Caitlin to make those threes. And also, Katie Slew is the other one. The other guard they got who can make threes. That's the one thing about the Fever. They're dangerous because of their shooting. They really have everything to be a solid team. But right now, size has to decide, okay, am I going to just submit to the Colt or am I going to do what's best for the team? They won last time. I think that's the way she should go. Chicago, they have to find a way to, of course, play better defense like they have all year. That last game was horrible defense. And find a way to get off to a quicker start. I suggest starting Chennedy Carter. I don't know. Those slow starts are just killing them. So we'll see. I'll be tuning in and also providing after game analysis as well. Peace out.